Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Pajama Storytime. Let's start with reading The Sheep Fairy, When Wishes Have Wings, by Ruth Louise Symes, illustrated by David Sim. This is Wendy Woolcoat. Wendy likes eating grass, 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 sleeping, eating grass, eating grass, eating grass, eating grass, eating grass. One day, Wendy was eating grass when a tiny voice said, "Help me, please help me, help me." It was a fairy, stuck in a brambly bush. Wendy was a kind sort of sheep, so she ate all the brambles around the fairy and set her free. "Oh, thank you," said the fairy. "As a special reward for helping me, I'll give you one wish. What would you like?" "Well," said Wendy, thinking hard, "mostly I like eating grass and sleeping." "But you can do both of those already," said the fairy. "There must be something else you dream about." "Oh, yes," said Wendy. She'd never told anyone about her secret dream before, but very quietly she told the fairy. "Speak up," the fairy said. "I can't hear you." "I dream I'm flying," said Wendy, "flying through the moonlit sky." Wendy looked around quickly to see if any of the other sheep had heard her. They all had their heads down, eating grass. Wendy started to eat grass, too. It was delicious. "When the moon comes up and the stars come out, your wish will come true," said the fairy as she flew off. Wendy was much too busy eating grass to listen. When the moon came up and the stars came out, Wendy had a very strange feeling indeed. She felt like she was floating upward. The field was far below. Wendy had grown a pair of beautiful, sheep-sized fairy wings on her back. She flapped them up and down. "Bah," Wendy bleated to the other sheep. Then she wiggled her legs around as though she were running in the sky. "Bah, bah, bah, look at me, I'm flying." But the other sheep were fast asleep. Soon she got the hang of flying, forward, backward, upward, downward, in loop-de-loops, in figure eights. Wendy flew over the farmer's house and through the town and out to sea. Flying was wonderful. It was even better than she dreamed it could be. On the way back, Wendy saw a wolf strolling down the lane toward the sheep's field. "Wake up! Wake up! There's a wolf coming!" Wendy cried. But the sheep kept on sleeping. "Wake up! Wake up! There's a wolf coming, and he's coming to get you!" But the sheep still didn't wake up, and it was almost too late. The wolf was in the sheep's field. Wendy had to do something. Wendy flew straight at the wolf. "Leave my friends alone," she shouted. "Help, Mommy!" The next morning, the sheep in Wendy's field were doing what they did every morning. Eating grass, eating grass, eating grass, eating grass. "I had a really strange dream last night," said sheep 1. "Me too," said sheep 2. "Me 3, said sheep 3. And all the other sheep agreed. "Bah, bah, bah." "I dreamt that Wendy could fly." "That's what I dreamed." "Me too." "Us too." But when they went to ask Wendy about it, she was fast asleep. The next book is If I Was the Sunshine by Julie Foliano and Lauren Long. If I was the sunshine and you were the day, I'd call you hello, and you'd call me stay. If you were the winter and I was the spring, I'd call you whisper, and you'd call me sing. If I was a flower and you were a nose, I'd call you sniff, and you'd call me rose. If you were a bird and I was a tree, you'd call me home, and I'd call you free. If I was an apple and you were a worm, you'd call me lunch, and I'd call you squirm. If you were a mountain and I was the sky, I'd call you almost, and you'd call me high. If I was the ocean and you were a boat, you'd call me wild, and I'd call you float. If you were the thunder and I was a cloud, you'd call me softly, and I'd call you loud. If I was the silence and you were a sound, I'd call you missing, and you'd call me found. If you were a firefly and I was the dark, you'd call me everywhere, and I'd call you spark. If I was the morning and you were the night, you'd call me tomorrow, and I'd call you sleep tight. The end. All right, good night, everybody. Look for all of our story times on Facebook, and sleep tight.